From childhood, we are taught to relate to our ego, my things, my house, etc. My question is, as a young father, is there a way I can make my children understand this real concept of the Vedantic I, and yet not alienate them so much from their peer group that they are thought of as weird?
Right. Yeah. One of the first signs of becoming spiritual is you want your children to be spiritual, long before you become spiritual yourself. I remember a school where we were young monks and there were little kids in that school, and we used to have meditation sessions for the kids. And one of the kids grumbled after the meditation session. He said, "Swami, I think I'm going to become enlightened before you." So yes. So young father, mother, the first thing they want is, my children should be spiritual. It's natural. You love your children and you found something which is really good and you know that it will be really good for them. But the easiest way is to be spiritual yourself. Now, one more thing, remember, this transcending the ego, or some people say crushing the ego, going beyond the ego, this talks about the mature ego. So a child first needs to develop an individuated and mature ego. You see, the rebelliousness of a teenager. That's a natural way when a teenager is beginning to develop his or her own personality apart from parents. Now that's expressed in all sorts of nasty ways, which gives a shock to parents and other people, but it's a good process. Before that, one should not apply these Vedantic ideas of transcending the ego and all of that. First, the child must have what is called a confident, independent personality, maturity, some kind of maturity. Internal maturity. It's not physical maturity. Sometimes children are much more mature than their parents. Internally, wiser. So so a psychologically independent, mature ego is first necessary. And then only you can think of transcending it with Vedanta. The ways are two. One is expand yourself so that you encompass others. I refers not only to this little body and mind, but to all. Family, community, school. So more and more. Children are generally loving. So if you encourage them to expand by sharing, by caring for others, but first they must have confidence in themselves. And for there, the parents have a big role to play. Unconditional love, structure, all of these things are necessary. After that, only transcendence. So this is one way, expansion. The other way is the devotee's way of making oneself smaller. So I give importance to the thou, not to me. So one is exemplified by Swami Vivekvanani, who made himself so great. Girish Ghosh said, Swami Vivekananda made himself so great that Maya's net, he grew out of it. So Maya couldn't catch him in her net. And Nag Mahashaya, the devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, he made himself so small that he easily slipped through the net of Maya. Somebody asked Nag Mahashaya, you keep saying that I am nothing, I am miserable, I am a sinner. Didn't Swami Vivekananda say that you should not, sell yourself short? You should not say that you are a bad person. You should not say that I'm a mean person. It's very bad for your spiritual growth. But Nag Mahashaya, very simple. He thought about it and he said, you're right. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. But what can I say? I just look at myself. I'm telling you the truth. I see what I see about myself. So he made himself so small that the ego disappeared. Swami Vivekananda made himself so big that the ego became one with the universal I. All right.
And from